inside today. Um, Luckily I got a decent little space here. Nice private room. I wanted a good sleep again. It's funny because in the last video I'm ready to be around people again, which I was, and it was good for a couple days, and now I want my space again. But yeah, it's not a bad little place here. Cozy enough. It's like an old villa house, but yeah, stuck inside because it's just pouring rain today. So there's really not so much to do, and that's okay. I just kind of wanted some time to relax and think and organize my stuff before I make my next big move here. But what I want to talk about today was the last couple days were kind of weird. I decided to go to this hostel, and when I showed up there the first evening, I was just sitting on the porch. So I don't know why I did this. I wasn't smoking. I was just sitting there. What was I doing? Nothing, maybe. Thinking anyway, and I was thinking was there anything that I wanted to do here before I left? Was there anything that I felt like I missed in Peru? I was like, no, honestly not. And then for some reason I started thinking about ayahuasca, and I was like, did I miss out on trying that? Because so many people do when they go to Peru, right? Or a lot of these Latin American countries, it's a popular thing to do. But I was just thinking, no, I just really feel like it's not the medicine that I need right now, honestly. And I was like, yeah, I actually I don't think I need it for some reason. I feel like everything is aligned, and it's not gonna help me elevate my consciousness at this point to where I want it to be. It's like I'm on a path right now that is where I need to be. Anyway, so I just suddenly made my peace with that and thought, no, it's not something I need right now. And then I walked off the terrace and went down, and I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll go down into the basement, and they had a sauna there. I was like, maybe I'll try out the sauna. And I go down, and they're like, oh, sorry, the basement is closed. I'm like, okay, why? They're like, we're doing a private ceremony. I'm like, okay, well, is it okay if I just sit right here, right nearby, and you could see down into where they're setting up the ceremony? And they're like, yeah, whatever, go ahead. So I was just chilling there, and then some people came up and they told me, well, yeah, we're doing an ayahuasca ceremony. I was thinking, that's really strange. It's like I somehow picked up on that vibe. But anyway, I just sat there, and it was weird and quiet. And also, actually, before I went downstairs, I was suddenly smelling sage, and I'm like, I wonder why they're burning so much sage. And then when I went down, they're playing this kind of psychedelic, what I would call, I guess, ceremony music. And yeah, so sure enough, they're doing a ceremony, and I'm thinking, well, that makes a lot of sense. And so I just sat there and observed, and everyone was just kind of walking by. Luckily, they didn't seem to have any issue with me sitting close by. They were just okay, whatever. And I was just like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna be chill. I won't disturb your vibes. And so they were okay with that. But yeah, I don't know. Ayahuasca is a very strange thing, and it's almost like somehow my energy was drawn there. It's weird. Because yeah, they also had no problem with me just sitting nearby. But eventually I went to bed, and then the next day I woke up, and for some reason I was really feeling the fear. A couple days ago I was just oh man, just one of those days where I was thinking, what am I doing here? Where am I? What kind of path am I on right now? And so I thought, I'm just going to go meditate for a while. So I just went out onto the terrace again and was just sitting there meditating and just really keeping my center. And that seemed like the most useful thing to do. And then this idea of plant medicine came to me again, and I was thinking, nah, there's nothing I really need right now. And then I thought, well, maybe if I smoke some cannabis for some reason, that seems like it would be helpful right now. Even though I knew by doing that, it was like I'm only going to lean into the fear. Like it's only going to amplify the anxiety that I was already feeling. Um, so I'm sitting there meditating, and this thought comes to me, and I think, yeah, you know what? I think that's the right thing right now. And of course, I didn't think about how I was going to get it or any of that stuff. And then suddenly this guy just comes up a few minutes later, and he's like, whips out a pipe and starts smoking, and he's like, oh, do you want some? I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. So I smoked a little bit, and we chatted for a few minutes, and then he left. And then I was, of course, really feeling the fear. I'm like, oh my God, like I'm in a strange place, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, and oh man. So, and then I thought, okay, now I'm going to go back into the meditation. And then I went and meditated again, and just really like, yeah, having all these kind of crazy, anxious thoughts in a way, but just completely sitting with it and holding my center, because for some reason, I just thought that leaning into this fear and anxiety, but holding my center was the right thing. And I would say the point is that I'm trying to make is that's honestly how you have to deal with fear in life in general. And that was the lesson that I took away from it, because a lot of the time in life, you're not really actually ever safe. You know, like we kind of just do tunnel vision and try to forget about all the other things that are happening around us all the time, which is harder to do when you're on a path that you can't really see where the end is, or when you're not following some sort of traditional path. It makes it like you're the only one that you can depend on for this to work out. And the only way to really stay focused and to stay on the right direction is to be centered and to just be within yourself, like no matter what. And this thought came to me too. That's why these yogis don't fear death at all. And that's why you could threaten them and attack them, and they wouldn't react to the fear, because they're just letting these emotions come up and these feelings come up and not attaching onto them and letting them take them somewhere that they don't want to. So they're not invincible, but they don't have a fear of death. And in a way that makes them immortal, I would say. And it's kind of an interesting point of meditation, I guess. And yeah, just wanted to share that sort of revelation.